Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about something incredibly important happening in the UK, Black maternal health. But we're not just going to focus on the problem. We're going to look at a really powerful community-built response, a strategy for survival called the Black Pregnancy Hub. All right, let's jump right in.
So let's start with the number that is at the very heart of the story: 2 times. In the UK, Black women are twice as likely to die during pregnancy or in those first 6 weeks after childbirth compared to white women. It's a shocking, undeniable statistic, and it's one we have to understand.
Now, here's the thing that's kind of wild about this number. It's actually an improvement. It used to be 4 times higher. But, and this is the crucial point from the source material, better still means you're twice as likely to die. The gap is smaller, sure, but it is still absolutely life-threatening. So that leads us to the big question, right? The one we really have to get to the bottom of. Why? Why is this still happening? What is behind this persistent, dangerous disparity?
Okay, let's just tackle a huge and really dangerous myth right up front. The data, the research, the lived experiences, they all make one thing crystal clear. This has nothing to do with biology or some kind of genetic difference. The reality? It's about systemic racism baked into the healthcare system itself.
So, what does a systemic failure actually look like? Well, it looks like your symptoms being brushed off. It looks like you expressing a serious concern about your own body and just not being believed. We see it in the data that shows pain is consistently undertreated. It's appointments that feel rushed, and providers literally spending less time with their Black patients. Every single one of these is a moment where things can go horribly wrong.
And if you think this is just about money or not having access to good doctors, look no further than Serena Williams, a world-class athlete, one of the greatest of all time, who knew her own body, knew her medical history with blood clots, and she still had to fight and argue to get the life-saving scan she knew she needed. If it can happen to her, it can happen to anyone. You know, this goes so much deeper than just a single bad interaction in an exam room. It's actually rooted in the history of medical training itself, where these really dangerous ideas have been allowed to fester for a long, long time. For instance, the research our source pulls from shows that even today, right now, a shocking percentage of medical students still believe in these completely false, racist medical myths. Things like Black people have thicker skin, or that our nerve endings are less sensitive. And these aren't just, weird historical facts. They have a direct impact, leading to pain being ignored and critical interventions being delayed. So you see the problem, right? The typical advice you always hear is you have to be your own advocate. Just advocate for yourself. But how? How are you supposed to do that when the very system you're in is literally built in a way that is predisposed to dismiss you and to not believe you? That advice just falls completely flat. But this is where the story takes a turn. Because this is what happens when a system fails a community. The community steps up and builds its own solution. And that brings us to the Black Pregnancy Hub. I just love how the hub describes itself. This is where culture meets clinical truth, where sisterhood meets survival strategy. So it's not just a place for support, It's this intentional, really smart blend of cultural understanding with hard scientific facts. It's about community, for sure, but a community that's armed with a plan.
And that word, strategy, that's the key to the whole thing. The whole approach is tactical. It's strategic. It's backed by evidence. It's about taking this journey that can feel so scary and turning it into one where you feel informed and powerful. Okay, so let's get into the specifics. What does this support actually look like? Well, the hub gives you evidence-based guidance that's specifically tailored to conditions that are more common in Black women, like preeclampsia. It gives you red flag checkers so you know exactly when to raise the alarm. And this is huge. It provides advocacy toolkits with actual scripts, like the literal words to say when you need to push back. It even helps prepare your partner to be a better advocate for you. And it doesn't stop at birth, offering crucial postnatal support for recovery and mental health. So really, what this is all about is restoring power. It's about giving a voice back to people who are so often made to feel voiceless by the healthcare system they're supposed to trust. This slide just lays it out so perfectly. Look at the side-by-side. The reality: your pain is dismissed. The hub's response: here are scripts for pushback and ways to document everything. The reality: most pregnancy content is geared toward white women. The hub's response: we center the Black experience. The reality: people tell you to just advocate. The hub's response: we give you the actual tools to show you how.
As we get ready to close out, I want to leave you with the core promise behind all of this work. It really starts with this simple, fundamental belief. You deserve to be heard. You deserve to be believed. You deserve to be treated with respect and dignity, full stop.
And it builds on that to the ultimate goal. This isn't just about avoiding tragedy. It's about the fundamental right to have a safe pregnancy and a safe birth. You deserve not just to survive the experience, but to actually thrive. And here it is, the bottom line. The source material makes this really stark but essential point. This system, as it stands today, is not set up to guarantee that safety for you. So this community has stepped up to build something that is. It all comes down to this simple, beautiful, powerful idea. You know, they always say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, when faced with a system that fails them, this community has built their own village, a village for survival. Thanks so much for joining me.